Hello my dear students, in this video we would discuss different steps to be followed to calculate the earliest start times, earliest finish times, latest start times, latest finish times of different activities that are performed to complete a project. And after that we would calculate or identify the critical path in a network. As we know that a network is a graphic representation or depiction of various activities that are performed or conducted and different events that occurred during completion of a project. So basically a network is a graphical representation of different activities or events that happened during completion of a project. Basically there are two types of network analysis techniques that we use in management science. These are project evaluation and review technique and critical path method technique. A network that we draw for a particular project can provide us very vital information for decision making. Assuming that the activity times are known and enough resources are available in organization to perform these activities, we can draw very important information by analyzing the network of the activities. We can draw the following information from a network analysis. Like first one, scheduling of various activities. After analyzing the network, we can schedule the starting and finishing of various activities that are involved in a particular project. Further, the starting times of the activities of a project can be determined by analyzing the network. Further, in a similar manner, we can calculate or we can determine the finishing time of different activities. And fourth point, identification of critical activities. By analyzing the network of different activities, we can identify the activities which are critical for the project or which cannot be delayed. In a similar manner, we can identify those activities which are not critical for the project and which can be delayed by a certain amount of time, and it would not affect the performance of the project as a whole activity. So these are some key aspects or key informations that we can draw by analyzing a network. We can schedule different activities. We can find out the starting times and finishing times of the activities. Further, we can determine or identify the critical and non-critical activities that need to be performed to complete a particular project. And further, we can also determine that by how much time a particular activity can be delayed without affecting the total time or duration of the project. And based on this information, in the end we can determine the critical path of the network. We would discuss about critical path in the following slides. But before that, we would discuss about the procedure of determining the critical path. In step 1, we need to portray or draw different activities of a project in a graphical form, or we need to construct a network of activities by keeping in view their logical sequence or their technological order. In step 2, we would analyze the networks by determining different aspects related with activities such as the earliest start, earliest finish, latest start or latest finish of the activities that are performed to complete a particular project. And after determining all these aspects, in the end we would determine the critical path of the project. So let's start this procedure and understand different aspects with the help of an illustration. Suppose in this table different facets of information are given that are related with different aspects of a project. Suppose the activities involved in a particular project are given in first column, which are named as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J and up to K. In a similar way, the activities nodes are also given in second column, and in third column the time duration to complete a particular activity is given. So with the help of this information we need to complete this procedure and determine the critical path for the network for this project. In step 1 of the procedure, we would draw the network for the project with the help of the information given in this table. As you can see that the activity A would start from node 1. Node 1 denotes the starting point of the network or the initial activity of the project. In a similar manner, K, that is denoted by nodes 7, 8, which it means 8 denotes the terminating node of the project, and activity K is the last activity, or we can say that lies between 7th and 8th node of the project. So these nodes are representing the initial point, which is denoted by node 1, and the terminating point, which is denoted by node 8. So with the help of this information we would draw the network for this project. First of all, we need to start with node 1. So let's suppose that this circle denotes node 1 of the project. As we know that activity A, activity B and activity C are the starting activities of this project, because they are starting from initial node, or they are starting from node 1. So first of all we will draw the starting activities of this project. These are A, B and C. So activity A would be denoted as denoted in this graph. Activity A is denoted by nodes 1, 2. So activity A would be drawn like this between nodes 1 and 2. In a similar way, now we would draw the activity B, or activity B, that is 1, 2, 3. Yes. So like this we would draw the activity B, that is denoted by nodes 1, 3. Remember that this diagram is in this diagram, arrows denote the activities of the project, and nodes denote the starting and ending points of the activities. So activity A is starting from node 1 and ending at node 2. Similarly, activity B is starting from node 1 and ending or terminating at node 3. In a similar way, activity C, that is also emanating or initiating from node 1, is ending at node 4. So in this way, activity A, B and C are the starting activities of this project, and they are initiating or emanating from the initial node, that is node 1. So in this way we have plotted all the starting activities of this project. Now we will move on the activity D, which is denoted by node 2, 5. So starting point of activity D is node 2, that is this one, and ending point would be node 5, that is this one. So in this way we can represent the activity D between node 2 and 5. Similarly, the next activity is activity E, that is starting from node 3 and ending at node 5. So it will be drawn between node 3 and node 5, that is like this. Further, activity F is starting from node 3 and ending at node 6. So again we need a different node, that is like this, activity F. Further, activity G is denoted by node is starting from node 3 and ending at node 7. So we can represent it in this way. Further, the activity H, which is starting from node 4 and ending at node 6. So it would be between node 4 and node 6, that is at this place, like this. Further, in a similar way, we can draw the activity I, that is between node 5 and node 7. So in this way, we can draw the activity I. Further, the activity J, that is between node 6 and node 8, that is the terminating node of the network. Activity 6, that is activity J, that is between nodes 6 and 8. And in last, the activity K is between nodes 7 and 8. So in this way, we have completed the first step of this process, that is by drawing a network. While drawing this network, remember all the rules that we have discussed in previous video of this lecture series about drawing a network. There are different rules that should be kept in mind while drawing this network. So in this way, we have drawn this network by moving from left side to right side, from left to right. So in this way, we have represented all the activities that are involved or need to be performed to complete a particular project. The activities are indicated by the arrows, and the name of activities are given on the respective arrows. And further, the nodes represents the starting and ending points of the different activities. Now we would move on the second step, that is we need to calculate the earliest start, earliest finish, latest start and latest finish times of different activities. And we can calculate these times with the help of two steps or two methods. First one is the forward pass. By using the forward pass basically indicates that we would move from left to right side on a particular network, or we would consider the first node first and the ending node in the last, or we can start from left side to right side. So the forward pass is followed to calculate the early start and early finish, or earliest start and earliest finish times for different activities of the network. So here we need to understand the concepts of earliest start times and earliest finish times. So the earliest time at which the activity can start, given that its precedent activities must be completed first. So earliest time is the time at which any activity can start, given that its former activities or preceding activities must be completed. Only after that we can start the activity. The earliest finish time can be calculated by using this formula, that is earliest start time plus time required to complete the activity. So by using the forward pass, we can calculate the earliest start time and earliest finish time of the activities. And remember, in forward pass we would consider, or we would calculate the ES and EF values by considering the predecessor activities or the former activities. Like this is the diagram that we have drawn in first step. Now we will need to calculate the earliest start time and earliest finish time of different activities. So while doing this, remember that activity A is the former or preceding activity for activity D, and similarly activity D is the preceding activity or former activity for activity I, and activity I is the successor or the following activity for activity D. So always remember or consider the logical sequence of the activities while calculating all the starting or finishing times for the different activities of the network. So let's start First of all, we would calculate the earliest start and earliest finish times for different activities by using the forward pass, that is from leftmost side to the rightmost side, or from the initial point to the terminating point. So in this way, from left side to right side, we would calculate the earliest starting times and earliest finish times for the activities. So for the first activity, that is activity A, we would consider the starting time equal to 0. So node 1 denotes the time 0, or starting time that is equal to 0. It would indicate the first minute or first second of first day. So the starting point for all the activities that emanate or that start from the first node would be equal to 0. So for activity A, the starting time would be equal to, or earliest start would be equal to 0. And in that case, what would be the earliest finish? So the formula is earliest start plus the duration of the activity. As the duration of these activities are given with their names, 2 denotes the duration of the activity or time that is taken to complete this activity. So activity A would be completed in 2 days. As the earliest start is 0, then the earliest finish time would be equal to earliest start plus the duration of the activity, that is 0 plus 2, that would be equal to 2. So the earliest finish for activity A would be 2. Now we would move on to activity B. As we know that for every activity that emanate from the node 1, the earliest start time would be equal to 0. So for activity B, earliest start would be equal to 0, and earliest finish would be equal to duration, that is equal to 7 days, plus earliest start, that is equal to 0. So 7 would be earliest finish. In a similar way, earliest start for C would be equal to 0, and earliest finish would be equal to 0 plus 8, that is 8. So in this way, we have calculated the ES and EF values or times for these initial or starting activities of the project. Now we would move on the activity D. So for activity D, the starting or earliest start would be equal to the latest. So the earliest start for activity D would be equal to the earliest finish of the preceding activity or the former activity, that is activity A. So activity A is the former activity for activity D. So the earliest start for activity D would be equal to the earliest finish for activity A, that is equal to 2. So earliest start is 2, and earliest finish would be equal to earliest start plus the duration of the activity, and duration of the activity is 3 days. So 2 plus 3, that would be equal to 5. In a similar way, we can calculate the earliest start for activity E, as the preceding activity for activity E is activity B, and earliest finish for activity B is 7. That would be the earliest start for activity E, that is equal to 7, and earliest finish would be equal to 6 plus 7. 6 is the duration of the activity E, so 13. In this way, we can calculate the earliest start and earliest finish for activity E. For activity F, the preceding activity is again activity B. So earliest finish for activity B is 7. So it would be earliest start for activity F. And earliest finish for activity F would be equal to 7 plus duration of the activity, that is 10. So it would be 70. For activity G, the preceding activity or the former activity is activity B. And earliest finish for activity B is 7. That would be earliest start for activity G, 7. In that case, the earliest finish for activity G would be equal to 7 plus duration of the activity. Duration is 4 days. So it would be equal to 11. Now for activity I, for activity H, the preceding activity is C, and earliest finish for activity C is 8. That would be earliest start for activity H, that is 8. And earliest finish for activity H would be 8 plus 6, that is equal to 14. In a similar way, we can calculate the earliest start for activity I. So for activity I, the preceding activities are activity E and activity D. So now it is interesting to calculate the earliest start and earliest finish for activity I. Remember the rule of drawing a network that any activity can start only after completion of its former activities. So for I, the former activities are activity E and activity D. Activity D is ending on 5th day while activity E is ending on 13th day. So activity I can only be started only after completion of these two activities. So these two activities are ending on day 5 and day 13 respectively. In these type of situations, we would consider the highest earliest finish times of the preceding activities as the earliest starting time for the successor activity, that is activity I. So for activity I, the highest earliest finish of the preceding activities, that is equal to 13, would be the starting point or earliest starting point. So earliest starting point for activity I would be the highest of these two activities, highest of the earliest finish time of these two activities. So it is 13. So 13 would be the starting point for activity I, and earliest finish would be equal to 13 plus 2, that is 15. Now similarly for activity J, there are two preceding activities or there are two former activities, activity F and activity H. Now again we need to consider the highest earliest finish for the preceding activities. So highest earliest finish is for activity F, that is equal to 17 in comparison of H, that is equal to 14. So we would consider the highest earliest finish, that is 17. So, and earliest finish time for J would be equal to 17 plus the duration of the activity, that is 5, that is equal to 22. Now in a similar manner for activity K, there are two preceding activities, activity I and activity G. For activity I, the earliest finish is 15, and for activity G, the earliest finish is 11. So we would consider the highest one, that is equal to 15. So earliest start for activity K would be equal to 15, and earliest finish would be equal to 15 plus duration of the activity, that is equal to 6, that would be equal to 21. So in this manner we have calculated the earliest start and earliest finish times for the different activities by using the forward pass method. Now we would calculate the latest finish time and latest start time for different activities by using the backward pass. The latest start and latest finish times are calculated by moving backward through the network or from right side to the left side. Unlike the forward pass, in backward pass we move from rightmost or the terminating node to the initiating node of the network. So latest finish time is the time in which the activity can be completed without delaying the project. So basically it denotes the latest allowable time to complete a particular activity without delaying the project. And further, latest start time can be computed by using this, we can compute by using this formula, that is latest finish time minus time required to complete the activity. So it is not plus, it is minus. So latest finish time minus time required to complete the activity. So by using this method or by using the backward pass, we would calculate the latest finish and latest start of different activities. So to start this step, we need to find or we need to determine the maximum time allowed to complete a particular project. If in situations, if the maximum time is given, then we would consider that time period, and if the maximum time period is not mentioned or not given, in that case we would consider the earliest finish, the highest of the earliest finish times of the activities that are terminating on the last node or that are ending or merging on the last node. Like For this network, the terminating node is 8, and on this node there are two activities that are terminating or that are merging. These are activity K and activity J. So for activity K, the earliest finish is 21 days, and for activity J, the earliest finish is 22 days. So we would consider the highest one, that is equal to 22. So the latest or the highest time period or duration that is allowed to complete this particular project would be equal to 22 days. So this project must be completed in 22 days. So it is the timeline of the project. So to calculate the latest start and latest finish for this project, we would consider 22 days as the maximum duration allowed for this particular project. Remember, if the maximum time period is given, like suppose if 50 days are given to complete this project, in that case we would consider 50 for calculating the latest start and latest finish for the project. But we are supposing that the maximum time is not given, so we would consider the highest earliest finish time for this project. So that is equal to 22 days. So let's start with the last activity in this sequence, that is activity K. So the latest finish for activity K would be equal to the maximum duration of the project, that is equal to 22 days. So maximum duration would be equal to latest finish for this activity, that is equal to 22 days, and latest start would be equal to the latest finish minus the duration of the activity, that is 22 minus 6, that would be equal to 16. So in this way we have calculated the latest start and latest finish for activity K. In a similar manner, the latest finish for activity J would be equal to 22 days, and latest start would be equal to 22 minus 5, that is the duration of the activity, that would be equal to 17. So in this way we have calculated 17 and 22 as latest start and latest finish for activity J. After that we would come on activity I. So for activity I, the latest finish would be equal to the latest start of the successor activity, that is activity K. So the following activity for I is activity K. So the latest start of activity K would be equal to the latest finish for activity I, that would be equal to 16. And in that case, the latest start would be 16 minus 2, that is equal to 14. Now we would come on the activity H. So for activity H, the successor activity is J, and the latest start for activity J is 17. So it would be the latest finish for activity H, that is equal to 17, and latest start would be equal to 17 minus 6, that is duration of the activity, that would be equal to 11. Further, we would come on activity G. For activity G, the successor or following activity is K, for which the latest start is 16. So it would be latest finish for activity G, that is would be 16. And in that case, the latest start would be equal to 16 minus 4, that would be equal to 12. Now we would come on the activity F. So for activity F, the following activity is J, and for activity J, the latest start is 17. So it would be the latest finish for activity F. And latest start would be equal to 17 minus 10, that is equal to 7. Now comes the activity E. For activity E, the successor activity is activity I, and for activity I, the latest start is 14. So 14 would be latest finish for activity E, and latest start would be 14 minus 6, that is equal to 8. Now comes on the activity D. For activity D, the successor activity again is I, for which the latest start is 14. So latest finish for activity D would be equal to 14, and latest start would be 14 minus 3, that is equal to 11. Now comes on the activity C. For activity C, the successor activity is H, for which the latest start is 11, so it would be latest finish for activity C, that is equal to 11, and so latest start would be 11 minus 8, that is 3. Now comes the activity B. So it is very important to calculate the latest start and latest finish for activity B, because there are three successors for activity B. These are activity E, activity F, and activity G. So which one would be the latest finish for activity B? Because latest start for activity E is 8, latest start for activity G is 12, and latest start for activity F is 7. So we should consider which one? We would consider the minimum latest start time of the successor activities. So minimum is 7. So we would consider 7 as the latest finish time for activity B. So in situations when there are more than one successors for any particular activity, then we would consider the least latest start as the latest finish for that particular activity. So in this case, 7 would be the latest finish for activity B, and as the duration is 7, so starting point would be equal to 7 minus 7, that is equal to 0. For activity A, activity D is the following activity, so its latest finish would be equal to latest start of the activity A, that is 11, and latest start would be 11 minus 2, that is equal to 9. So in this way we have calculated the earliest start, earliest finish, latest start and latest finish times for all the activities of the project with the help of this network. On this network, the name of the activities are given on their respective arrows. The values on the upper side of the arrow shows the earliest start and earliest finish, and the values on the lower side denote the latest start and latest finish of the activities, and the numbers given with the names of the activities denotes the duration of the activities. So with the help, after calculating all these values, we need to determine the critical path for the network. But before that, we need to understand the concept of the path. Basically, a path represents a set of continuous series of activities in the network that starts from the initial node and ends up at the terminal node of the network. There can be several paths in a particular network. Like in this network, we have different paths. For the first path, suppose we can start from node 1 to node 2 to node 5 to node 7 to node 8. So it is the path that can be denoted by A, or that can be named as ADIK, which basically consists activities ADIK. The second path can be like this, which includes activity C, activity H, activity J. So it would be named as path CHJ. Similarly, the third one can be like this, from 1 to 3, 3 to 7, 7 to 8, which includes the activities BGK. So there can be there can be various paths in a particular network, but we need to identify the critical path out of all those paths in a particular network. Critical path is the largest path of the network, having the maximum length in terms of the completion time, or we can say that it is the path which have the maximum completion time, or this path determines the duration or the time period of the project. The time taken by this path would be equal to the time taken by the whole project for completion. Like the paths, there can be more than one critical path in a network. Now comes the concept of critical activities. All activities on critical path are known as critical activities, and these are known as critical activities because a delay in any of these activities will affect the following activities and in turn will affect the duration of whole project. So basically critical path denotes that path which consumes the maximum time for completion. So how would we identify the critical path in a particular network? So it can be identified by using these techniques. First of all, calculate the difference between earliest start and latest start. Then calculate the difference between earliest finish and latest finish. It is also known as the slack time for a particular activity. If the differences between earliest start and latest start and earliest finish and latest finish is equal to 0, it means that path is the critical one, or we need to give more attention or more focus on that particular path and on the activities of that particular path. So we have this network with us after calculating all the earliest and latest times of the activities. Now one by one we would consider all the possible paths in this network and would calculate their duration and select the one with maximum duration. So for the first path that start from 1 goes to 2, 5, 7, 8, the duration would be equal to 2 days plus 3 days, 5 plus 2, 7 plus 6, 13 days. Similar, second path would be from 1 to 3 to 7 to 8. So duration would be equal to 7 plus 4 plus 6, that is equal to 17. The third can be 1 to 3, 3 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to 8. Duration would be equal to 7 plus 6, 13 plus 2, 15 plus 6, 21. The next one could be 1 to 3 to 6 to 8. So 7 plus 10, 17 plus 5, 22. And the fifth one would be from 1 to 4 to 6 to 8. And duration would be equal to 8 plus 6 plus 5. That is equal to 19 days. So the path which has the highest duration is this one, from 1, 3, 6, 8. And the duration is equal to 22 days. So it is the critical path, and we can cross check it by calculating the difference between earliest start and latest start and earliest finish and latest finish. So the values of the earliest start and latest start would be same for the critical path, and values of latest finish or earliest finish and latest finish would also be same. So look at this activity on this path. All the values are similar. Earliest start is equal to latest start and earliest finish is equal to latest finish. Similarly, the second activity for this path is activity F. Earliest and latest start times are equal, and earliest finish and latest finish times are also equal. The third activity is activity B. For this activity as well, the earliest start and latest start values are equal, and also the latest finish and earliest finish values are equal. So in this network, this path would be critical one. And what would be the meaning of being the critical path? It would mean for management that they should focus on the completion of this path, because delay in any activity of this path would result into delay of the whole project, as the timing of whole project is equal to, or duration of the whole project is equal to 22 days, and this path also has the duration of 22 days. If we delay this path, then there would be delay in whole project. So we would, and the activities that are B, activity F and activity J would be known as critical activities of the network. So in this way, by using backward pass and forward pass, we have calculated earliest start, earliest finish, latest start and latest finish, and critical path of the network. So these can be very useful in, or can be very handy in decision making or in efficient decision making for a project manager. In next video, we would consider the other remaining aspects of a network that are known as floats. Thank you.